interior designer, and I'm the sole proprietor of TLM Design Studio here in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. It's a small town. I think the population is around 5,000, but it's pretty progressive, and there's a really good arts culture here, which is nice. I've only been here about a year or so. My husband's from here, and I was a little leery about moving to a small town again, but I was ready to settle down, and we wanted to start a family and that sort of thing, and I was hoping to work for somebody else. It didn't work out that way. There's nobody to work for in Antigonish doing design, so I just started my own thing. Word of mouth got me started to do a little bit here, a little bit there, and right now I've got about 13 or 14 clients on the go. Most of them are pretty big ongoing renovation projects, and I think there's enough growth in the town here to keep me busy for quite a while. So I stopped by the coast. I spend a lot of time doing mostly residential renovations for clients, which involves helping them plan out their space from beginning to end. The difference between a designer and a decorator: decorators are involved mainly in the decoration of a space, and designers more construction-based background. A designer comes in and helps plan everything from how much space you need for any kind of renovation, helping you figure out the budget, helping you figure out the finishes at the end. So I spend a lot of my time doing drafting for clients, drafting construction drawings. When it gets into construction, I'm involved in being on site and helping them make any kind of decisions of things that come up. Some clients, only need help with things as simple as a preliminary floor plan or space plan. Other clients want you to be involved in every aspect of it. So it really varies from client to client how involved I am. Often for renovations, people have a very definite plan on how they want it to go and how much money they're willing to spend. And as soon as you start knocking walls down, there are any number of unforeseen events that can happen. You knock a wall down and find out that grandma's bones are hidden in there or something. Anything can happen. I charge clients for any work I do for them or with them, so if I meet them for an initial meeting and it's only an hour, I still charge them. Any drafted work I do for them, any sort of research, and this is where people don't realize how much time you can spend doing administrative stuff. I make it very clear up front to clients how the billing process works and everything that's involved in design, and I try to ballpark as close as possible what I expect their project is going to be. Now, obviously, I'm not going to bill a client for time if I know it's not justified spending all that time getting distracted and trying to find the perfect product. So I have to work hard at sort of maintaining focus and saying, okay, I've spent enough time trying to find this. And some people are willing to take up that legwork and do it themselves. They feel confident that they can make the right selections. They have no problem doing it. And other people just say, I don't want to have to think about it. You do it all. Just bill me at the end. It's not a problem. But for the most part, I think people that access and source designers have an idea of what they're getting into and know that going the extra step to have a designer means that the job is going to be done that much better, and they're willing to spend the money to achieve that sort of result. When I start a project with a client, there are quite a few people involved. There's the builder or the contractor, and although there are a number of people that I would recommend because I've worked with them previously, I always leave it up to the homeowner to select their own contractors. I really encourage clients as much as possible to make sure that all the people that are involved, that they select or that they're going to be working with, that we all communicate as much as possible, because it's so easy for mistakes to be made. Because I run a home business, I didn't have to put out a lot of initial money to get an office space. And I can work from home, so my overhead is practically nil. I got a personal line of credit to cover some computer software, my computer, my printer, some samples. But I haven't dug myself into a huge hole that I have to work like the next 5 years like a lunatic to get myself out of. But I have invested a lot more hours than I'm not billing for. TLM Design Studio. Billing gets tricky with interior design because we have access to a number of products that we get wholesale or that we can get discounted, and whether or not you pass the discount along to clients, depending on how you bill for other services, it's quite involved and in-depth. There's been a lot of help from government agencies with navigating all the red tape and that sort of thing. I never really felt that I needed a lot of financial help as far as a lump sum of money thrown at me, but getting funding for things like marketing advice, things that I might not be willing to spend money on myself or justify funding for. Advertising, instead of just blindly throwing money at a newspaper or a radio, figuring out, when should I be advertising and who my market is and what's my target and that sort of thing. Inspiration comes from almost anything. Once you start moving and creating something, it sparks more stuff. It's when you sit there and stare at a blank screen for 3 hours and don't do anything that you get nothing accomplished. You have to actually move. You have to do stuff. And having a baby in 6 or 7 weeks, haven't slowed down yet. They tell me I'm going to have to. So I'm hoping I can manage to take off maybe a month, but I'm not ready to slow down my business at all. I'm glad that I found a career that I enjoy and not just a job that I make money at. I'm really lucky that way, I think, because a lot of people don't. And I think it's because I get to be creative. Things are looking prosperous for me, which is good. I mean, I'm obviously not making $1 million here, but that's not really why I'm doing this. You know, if I can make a good living and support my family, I'll be very happy with it. And it looks like I'm sort of on the road to that, so I'm quite happy.